So last night I saw a pretty decent movie. It was called Conceiving Ada from the year 1997. It's a movie about Ada Lovelace. If you don't know who Ada Lovelace is, Ada Lovelace was referred to as the Enchantress of Numbers by Charles Babbage, who she worked with, and together they created computer programming before computers even existed while working on Babbage's counting machine.
Yes, but more importantly, she's responsible for creating what we know today as the computer language. And she did this in Victorian England, which is really quite a feat.
And I always thought, once I learned about her years ago, I used to think, why is she not like a humongous hero for females, like a historical figure? If you're into cryptocurrency, you know Ada because Cardano, which at one point was the third highest ranked cryptocurrency by market cap, the call sign for Cardano was Ada, and that's in reference to Ada Lovelace. Now this movie, it takes place in the present time of the time period. So the movie came out in 97. I think that it shifts between like 93, 98, 2000, and 2003. And what's really interesting about it is it's about artificial life, not artificial intelligence, but artificial life.
Emmy has just been nominated for the 1994 Cartesian Genius Grant for her cutting-edge experimentation in artificial life.
And I remember in the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s, A-Life was kind of a thing. You might even remember that goldfish. I think it was that fish that was in the tank. Nintendo Nerd did a video on it. I forgot the name of it. It was from the Sega Dreamcast. But you raise that fish thing. The idea is, through this artificial life that she created, she creates these things called agents.
Charlene is an artificial life agent who I hope to train to fly into computer space and retrieve information from the past, so that we can communicate with people in history.
Of course, this is all in the future.
No, actually, I'm very close. Information waves are never really lost. We've just needed a way to access them.
And carriers, and what they do is they transfer information from one point to another. And her hypothesis is that information waves, they carry information forever. Kind of like if you think about Jurassic Park, if you could find a fossilized mosquito that happened to bite a dinosaur and then extract the blood out and get the DNA, you could then, in theory, clone a dinosaur. So in her case, if you can find a photograph, the photograph captures a moment in time. And then through that, there's information waves with it, which you can then go all throughout time to like backtrack and forward track to see, kind of like see back in time. Much like, I don't know if you ever use the live mode on an iPhone, but you'll notice that if you send a picture to people that is photographed in live mode, it kind of captures 2 or 3 seconds with it. An interesting note is her mentor in the movie is Timothy Leary.
Did you find what you were looking for?
More perspectives on Ada, yes, but
You can't bring Charlene into artificial life.
I don't understand what I'm doing wrong.
Look at what you're doing. Right. Retrace your steps.
No formula? No memory chips?
Information is like a mist. You have to breathe it in. You already have everything you need. Energy, illumination, 0 is 1. Light's the key. I've given you several clues. Relax. Your memory will decode them. We're communicating with a vocabulary of light.
The Timothy Leary, he plays her college professor. And yeah, the Timothy Leary from LSD, from Cheech and Chong Nice Dreams. I'm not really recommending this movie, but if you do watch it, the first 10 minutes are just skip past it. It's lame. After the first 10 minutes, the movie's pretty good throughout the rest. It becomes a period piece whenever she gazes into Ada's life, and you get to see kind of like a biography of Ada Lovelace's relationship with Charles Babbage, the Babbage machine, and some of the steps that they did to conceive new ideas for probability statistics for gambling, horse races. The interaction with it, though, is so the main character is able to communicate with Ada. Ada kind of thinks she's losing her mind. She's hearing voices in her head, and Ada keeps asking, "Can you save me?" Because she's stuck in a time period where she's bound to everybody else except her own. Like, she feels like she doesn't get to live her own life and express her own brilliance. So she continuously asks, "Can you save me?" And so this is kind of like, be careful what you ask for, you might just get it. So the main character in 1997 saves, through the computer, saves Ada's memories and Ada's life. So it is saved to a disc. She gets saved to a disc. So it's funny.
Ada, we don't have much time left. I can feel your heart inside mine.
Are you there? Come to save me?
Yes. I found a way to clone your memory patterns. Everything you're thinking. Everything you've remembered.
Clone? What do you mean? I don't know that word. Is it French?
It's so difficult to make you understand what we can do now. Believe me, Ada. I've found a way to copy your memory patterns exactly. They will exist in a half-life.
Half? That's a bad bargain. I'm not at all certain half a life is better than none at all.
It's the only way.
How?
Through me.
And why should I be saved at your expense?
So that we will know the truth about your life. And you can take your rightful place in history. I promise. In the year 2000, all the details no one knows will be made public. We will celebrate your accomplishments.
My rightful place. The year 2000. 166 years from now. During my lifetime, I've lost everything I ever called my own. I had to cede everything. My house, my work, my body. Everything was taken over by others. I'd even promised away my immortal soul for some opium and a bit of peace. I still have something of myself left. I can speak for myself. For my soul. What you call my essence. And I'm not going to send it on to colonize you. Not even for history. You are my final friend. And I won't taint you with my diminished passions. The redeeming gift of humanity is the ability of each generation to recreate itself.
Think of your heirs.
They will have to take their own chances, like I did. Life itself is a gamble. Besides, I don't want all my secrets known, or to be watched after I'm dead.
Ada.
There is genius in our blood. We will calculate another solution. Everything's perishing. Even time. death makes the fragility of life delicious. In general, I'm not opposed to it.
And then in the end, you can't really tell if that's what Ada wants or not. Like, she wants to become part of history. She feels like she's historical. But the concept of being saved to a disc, I'm pretty sure she couldn't understand what that even meant. All in all, I think the movie did a great job of capturing the life of Ada Lovelace and found a way to make it current for the time period. It's kind of funny watching the main character use her computer from '97. You never really see actually you do see the computer, but like seeing those old bland beige computers with the bland clickety-click mouse. And we probably should restore this concept of artificial life to find out how far did it go, because it was a real promising concept in the early 2000s. I thought by now, I mean, we're just getting a little taste of artificial intelligence now, like real AI. I haven't heard about artificial life in over 10 years. So anyway, saw the movie. I'm not recommending it. It may not be for you. I had an interest to learn about the life of Ada Lovelace. Once I got past the first 10 minutes of in fact, I ripped the DVD to my computer and I cut the first 10 minutes out. And the way they tie it all together is, so like the main character, I guess she feels like she's like Ada in present day, and the name is Conceiving Ada, so she's designing this Ada, right? So when you create something, you're conceiving it, but she also has a daughter. I think she names her daughter Ada and kind of downloads the memories of Ada Lovelace into her daughter. It's all like implied, it's not specifically stated, but it's a nice way they all kind of tied it all together and drew the parallels between Ada's life and the main character's life. So like I said, this movie's not for everybody, but if you wanted to know more about Ada Lovelace, I think this movie did as good of a job that could be done. And I thought Tilda Swinton was an excellent choice for the actress to portray Ada Lovelace. Did a great job. So that's that. Conceiving Ada, 1997, Artificial Life, Charles Babbage, Timothy Leary, Ada Lovelace, the Babbage machine, agents and carriers of information waves that are preserved throughout time. I mean, imagine if there really are information waves. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you later.